Hey everyone, I'm happy to see that you're on here training. This is basic form number 1. The Hyung forms, or the first 3 basic forms, take you through the basic stances that you need to know. You're going to see forward stances, you're going to see cat stances. You're also going to see the basic blocks. You'll see low block, you'll see inside 2 out, and you'll see rising block, and you'll see the basic strikes or the center punches. So we're going to start with Hyung Ilbu, or the white belt form. Now when you start in an attention stance, you want to make sure that your feet are together, your toes touching, heels touching, shoulders are back, eyes are forward. The beginning of the form has got to be strong. So when you step out with your left leg, you want to be shoulder width apart, and you want to make sure that the feet don't kick out on an angle. Both feet should be square, and that's going to make for a stronger base. So when you step out, at the same time, the hands are going to snap into position, into a chumbi position. Now the chumbi position should be even with your belt knot. Now when you step out, you don't want to step out weak and just let the arms dangle, because everything that we do in the form has an offensive technique behind it. So this all by itself can be a technique. So when I step out, I want to snap that into position. So the body stays loose and relaxed, snaps at the last second, and then of course you're loose again and relaxed again to conserve your energy. Now we're going to work off what they call the I formation. So imagine a capital I. So you have the line going across here, you've got the line going up, and then you've got the line at the top. That's how the forms are going to be done, especially in the early stages anyway. So once we learn the I pattern and which way to move and how to step, the forms are pretty easy. And then it just comes to, making them stronger, faster, and more power. So when I step out into the chumbi. First thing I do is I look to my left. My left hand chambers. Notice my right hand kind of comes over just a little bit. What that does is that closes the center line. So we're not going to have it chambered way out here leaving this open. We want to squeeze that together. So you'd want to be right above the right shoulder with the left hand. I turn and I look. I step out on an angle. So when I turn the hips at the same time, that's where the block or strike. This actually has a lot of different applications. We'll get into that a little bit more in some other videos as breaking the forms down. The front leg should be bent just enough to where the toes go out of sight, and the fist is going to be about 1.5 fist off the knee, or about 6 inches. The back foot, make sure that the toes are pointed in the direction that you're moving, and what that's going to do is that's going to make your hips square. It's going to make your shoulders square. One common mistake that you'll see a lot of beginners make is they'll just step out here and their feet will be in a straight line and they'll have no balance or no stability. So when I step out, I step back out on probably about a 45-degree angle here, and then when I turn the hips, everything squares off, and that's where you get your power with that hip pop here, and we'll use that in all of the forms. So when I first step out, as the hips are squaring off, that block or that strike is being made here, and the right hand is chambered up with the pinky touching the inside of the top rib. You don't want the elbow here, and you definitely don't want the hand dangling down. Now going on to number 2, what we're going to do is we're going to do what they call a C-step. So instead of just stepping straight here, what we're going to do is we're going to slide that right foot up just about to where it touches the left, and then it steps out into the forward. What we don't want to do is step in a straight line to throw the punch, because then again we have no balance. So what we do is we take that foot, imagine like a C motion here, and then the second punch comes out. So starting from the beginning, first move, I turn and I look as that hand comes up to chamber. I step out on an angle, and at the same time my hips are turning, snap. I step forward, I aim with that left, I do the C step, punch directly in the center. Now notice the back leg again is pointed forward, and my shoulders, hips are all square. The punch shouldn't be in line with the shoulder. The punch should be in line with the center of your body. So if the body's turned here, it's most likely because the back foot is not facing in the direction that you're punching. It's almost impossible to get your body around square if that back foot isn't moving in that direction. Going to number 3, it's what we call a 3/4 turn. So the right hand chambers up, left hand closes the center line. So when I step back, I'm going to take that right foot and step back on an angle, just like if there's a straight line here. As I turn, as soon as my body gets to that side, that's when that strike comes out or that block comes out. Again, my front leg is bent. I can't see my toes. Back leg locked out and straight. You don't want any bend or the heel coming off. We want to drive that heel into the floor. Shoulders are square, hand is chambered. I aim as I step up, C-step, throw the punch. Now you want to keep the body loose and relaxed right up until where the punch happens, and then you squeeze it, making it tight, giving it some power behind it. Going to number 5, now we're going down the line. So we turn and look first, that hand chambers up as the right hand closes the center line. Now that happens at the same time. As I'm demonstrating it, I'm showing you at one piece at a time, but when I actually do it, boom, it comes hard. So this is actually a strike as well, and this has a lot of application behind it. So make sure that every time you do it, you do it with force. I step over, I turn. As the body squares here, again, I've got low block position, right hand chambered. Both feet are pointed in the direction that I'm moving, which is squaring my hips and my shoulders up. Now I'm doing 3 moves coming forward. They're all center punches. So I step up, punch 1, punch 2, and then on number 8, that's where the key-op is. Now going from number 8 to 9, that's coming off the back leg here. So I'm going to chamber, step all the way behind. As I turn, I lock in the block or the strike. I step and I punch. So I'm basically doing the identical movements going back in the other direction. So now I'm at the top of the eye. The right hand comes up, left hand closes the center line. I step back on an angle, I turn, lock it in. I step forward, C-step, center punch. Now I'm going to complete going back to the beginning or back where I started by looking over my left hand chambers, right hand goes down, pick up, turn, and let the block come out. As I step, C-step 1, C-step 2, and then on number 16 is the second key-op. Here, left hand comes to the top, I step behind, I turn, so that way when I land, I'm in a good forward stance and I don't have to make any adjustments. I step and punch. I'm going to finish the form basically the same way that it began. Step and punch. Now from here, it's going to be the left leg that returns into position, and then left leg slides back into attention, and I should land right about where I started. Okay, so that's Kichung Ilbu, basic form number 1. It has 20 moves. Now, once you get this down really well, you can add a bonus form. Now, it's not listed here because it's not really part of the system, but we thought it would be cool to add a form that added kicks, had the same motions, but instead of doing the 3 center punches coming down the line, you could do 3 front kicks on Kichung Ilbu Part B. Here's the difference. When I get to number 5, instead of a low block, I go into my guard position and I throw 3 front snap kicks coming down the line with the key-op at the same spot that it was in Part A. So now what we're going to do, just to make it easier for you to follow along, is I'm going to do the mirror image, or actually you're looking at the mirror image, so it's kind of hard to follow. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn around and have you follow along with me, which will make it easier, especially for the beginners, to start to learn this. Left hand chamber, step over. 1, step and punch 2, turn 3, step and punch 4, go to the front. 5, step and punch 6, 7, key up on number 8. Chamber, step behind, 9, step 10, 11, 12, now I'm coming back down, 13, 14, 15, 16, left leg, 17, 18, 19, 20, return, left leg comes in, and that'll finish the form. So you should be able to do this form in any direction. And once you get really good at it, you're going to want to practice it facing every direction possible. Because sometimes when you get used to doing it in one direction and then you try to change and face another way, it'll throw you off a little bit. So the better you know the form, the easier it is to do. And every direction, doesn't matter, will always get you the same result. So I'm Tony with All Star Kids Karate Academy. Hope you guys enjoyed watching Kichung Ilbu, basic form number 1. Work hard. This is the requirement to go to yellow belt. We'll see you next time.